As long as this blood flows, I will never surrender to the invaders. These were not the words of a king, but of a woman who rose from grief, who stood amid fire and gunpowder and led a nation's cry for freedom. Her name was Cut Nyak Dien, Lioness from the land of Aceh. Born in 1848 in Aceh Besar, Cut Nyak Dien came from an aristocratic family, noble not just in name, but in heart and faith, raised with Islamic teachings, sharp intellect, and unwavering dignity. Young Dien was molded to understand both tradition and resistance. She was not born for the sidelines. She was born for the front lines of history. As a young woman, she married Tunku Ibrahim Lamanga, a brave and respected leader. But peace was short-lived. In 1873, Dutch colonial forces launched a full-scale invasion of Aceh, determined to conquer, the last stronghold of resistance in the archipelago. Dien's husband went to war and never returned. He fell in battle in 1878. Her grief was deep, but her will unbroken. She vowed to take his place. With sword in hand, Cut Nyak Dien took up arms. She didn't just fight, and she led. She organized guerrilla attacks, inspired warriors, and united villages. In a time when women were told to stay behind, she stood at the front. The Dutch began to fear her, calling her the Singa Betina dari Aceh, the Lioness of Aceh. She later married Teuku Umar, a legendary commander. Together, they waged war not only with strength, but with strategy. Teuku Umar famously pretended to cooperate with the Dutch, gaining their trust, collecting weapons and supplies, only to defect and return to the battlefield with reinforcements. It was a war of mind and muscle, but fate struck again. In 1899, Teuku Umar was killed in battle. Cut Nyak Dien was left to fight alone again. Old, ill, and nearly blind, Cut Nyak Dien still refused to surrender. From deep in the jungle, she led a resistance few dared to match, until finally, one of her loyal fighters, out of love and pity, betrayed her location, believing she deserved peace, not death in the wilderness. Captured by the Dutch in 1901, she was exiled to a small town far from her homeland, Sumedang, in West Java. There, far from the land she fought for, she lived quietly. But even in exile, she inspired. She taught the children. She passed on values of faith, strength, and patriotism. She died on November 6, 1908, without grandeur, without a monument, but never forgotten. In 1964, the Indonesian government honored her as a national hero. Today, her name lives on. In schools, in streets, in the hearts of those who still believe in justice. Cut Nyak Dien wasn't just a warrior. She was a wife, a mother, a leader, and a legend. A reminder that even in the darkest of times, the strongest light may come from a woman unafraid to burn,